you are anywhere near the internet, then chances are you have seen or heard of Euphoria. Euphoria is the teen HBO drama that has gotten everybody up in a pickle, or at least looking at the outfits, because let me tell you, I did not dress like that when I was in high school. Even though the style is a little unrealistic and the drama is over the top, after watching the finale on Sunday, I wanted to do a video talking about how to recreate the iconic looks from the show using different sewing patterns. Now, I have scoured the internet to find you the closest looks that I possibly could, and I think I did a pretty good job. Now, before we get into it, you know how it goes. If you are not yet subscribed, I would love if you subscribe to this channel. This is a place where I talk about making my own clothes, and I talk to you about how you can do the same thing. Without waiting any further, let's get into the video to talk about all the ways that you can recreate Euphoria outfits using sewing patterns. I saved my personal favorite for last, so you may want to hang out until that one. I think it's pretty good. This first one is still, I would say, like one of my favorites that I found. Cassie is a pretty prominent figure in the TV shows, and she's known for her sort of sweet and sexy styling, sometimes more over the top sweet, sometimes, you know, more over the top sexy, and this look is sexy. This is the iconic pink bathing suit look that she wore for Maddy's birthday, and when I found the pattern that you can use to recreate this bathing suit, I was like, I peaked. I found the perfect match. It's the Edgewater Avenue Isabella swimsuit. It's a one-piece pattern, and the similarities are remarkable. It's got the crisscross through the straps, it's got the high-cut legs, it's everything. It wraps around the body. There are so many similarities that if you got some pink swimsuit fabric and you wanted to recreate this, you absolutely could do it and it would look like the original. And honestly, from what I've heard about Euphoria clothing, they have gone absolutely viral to the point where there's a huge wait list to get any of the items that you've seen on the TV show. So you can make it yourself. Why wait? Why be on a wait list? You can just make this yourself. And honestly, I think in the pink it would be awesome. In an orange it would be really cool. I love how they did it here in the leopard print. Lots of good options for you. So check that one out. Summer is on the way. It's in the horizon, in the northern hemisphere anyways. Sticking with Cassie, we've got one more look, and it is the blue dress that she wore on New Year's. So I haven't been able to find an exact pattern replica of this, but Kiana Bonolo on YouTube, she's got a whole video where she makes a ruched dress that can be very, very similar to the one that Cassie is wearing. If you made it in a sparkly fabric, I think it would be really, really close to the one that she wears. And it has adjustable ties in Kiana's version, so you can have it longer, shorter, whatever. That's what's creating the ruching effect. So it makes it a little bit easier than to, you know, ruche the whole thing, which I imagine is complex in itself. But this is a great pattern. She's got a whole tutorial where she shows you how she does it. So that makes it free and accessible for you. Next up is Kat, and Kat has one of my favorite style arcs in the series. I love how she really comes into herself, and we're going to be focusing more on her season 1 outfits than her season 2 outfits, because season 2 is seeing a lot of layering and printed pattern pieces, and well, it's, you know, really awesome, and like I love her style so much. It is a bit harder to replicate because it's more specific to like the fabric than the actual shape itself. The first one is this overall dress that she wore. I think it was so cool, and it's something that I would love to recreate as well, actually. It's a color block sort of patchwork style overall dress. It has got a zipper through the whole front, and it's got the classic overall straps. The version that I found, I think, is pretty close. It's Fig and Needle, the Farron dress. And while it doesn't have the overall straps, you can definitely add those in. But I like the solid strap that they have in their pattern. It's got the long zip through the front, and while it's not color blocked, you could definitely recreate this, I think, pretty easily. I think the shape of the dress really works similarly to Kat's dress, and if you wanted to recreate this outfit using this pattern, I think that it would be a good one to get started with. And we wouldn't be covering Kat's style arc if we did not include a corset from her sort of coming out look. And this is one of my favorite moments for Kat. I love when she's just like powerfully strutting down the hallway. It's so good. and I think that this corset that I found on Etsy is a really good way to achieve this look. So this is a front lace corset from Ms. Patterns, and it also has some adjustable ties on the straps at the shoulders. And I think this is really key because it gives you some opportunity to play with hardware and kind of get that edgy look that Kat has. If you were to do this in black, like a black denim, or even like a black faux leather, I think that would be really awesome. There's lots of like really, or like a nice like thick twill. I think that, you know, you could make this obviously more personal to how you want to, or if you wanted to like completely copy Kat's look, then, you know, find a similar fabric to the one that she's wearing. But I think that, you know, other than it's not completely underbust the way that Kat has hers, you could potentially adjust the straps, I think, to make it so that, you know, it is a little bit longer and can sit a little bit lower, and then you can kind of lace up like that. I'm not exactly sure. You might want to look up a tutorial on how to get that underbust look if that's what you're looking for. But I just keep realizing I'm touching my boobs. But anyways, Jules is next, and I absolutely love how Jules dresses. It's so cool. I love the mesh and the layering, and she goes from this like bubblegum princess to a little bit more of like an edgy like skater girl, skater boy vibe. And I think that like every look that she has like serves and is so good. But it is tricky because, again, similar to Kat, while her style is like really iconic and also like, you know, just really memorable, it's a lot of individual pieces and fabrics that are playing into the looks and less so about like the shape of the garments themselves. So I tried to find a few things that I think would work well for Jules' style. The first one is the Cartesian crop from Sophie Hines, and I think that you guys are gonna really like this one because I think it's so cool. It's a long line, or sort of like a long line bra, or like a crop top, however you want to look at it. And I think that the panels of mesh and opaque fabric work really well in mimicking Jules' style. So Jules plays a lot with mesh layers and like covering certain parts and layering everything on top of each other, and it's a really nice like cohesive look, which can be challenging to recreate in pattern form. But I think that if you were to use similar fabrics to what Sophie does, you could get a look that is very Jules inspired. I picture this being worn over top of another mesh top or over top of a turtleneck, something like that, playing into that layering effect that Jules does really well. When I was thinking about recreating Rue's outfits, I really thought that going with a button-up shirt and a hoodie were kind of the best options. So what I decided was to go with a button-up top. This one is from Brandy Joan. It has a double-notched lapel. I think that was really key. I wanted something that didn't button up all the way and left a little bit of openness through the chest area, something that could be made a little bit boxier. She has it here in this satiny fabric, but I think if you did it in like a tropical print or even like a little micro print, because Rue wears a lot of like really small prints as well as the big flashy Hawaiian print that, you know, is the one that has been splashy all over the internet. I think that could be a really great way to get Rue's style. And then of course, I wouldn't be talking about Rue if I did not mention the hoodie. And when I was doing some research on the hoodie, I found out that Rue actually is wearing her dad's hoodie. So the maroon zip up that we see her wear throughout the show, that was her dad's hoodie. And I think that once you realize that, it created a soft spot for me for her, and I knew I wanted to include that in this pattern roundup. So I found this one from Seamwork. It's a Rudy hoodie, and you have to buy the pullover hoodie before you can get the Rudy zip up expansion. So that's just something on the Seamwork website. But I think if you made this a little bit more oversized, maybe expanding the dimensions a little bit, you could get that oversized fit that Rue has. And if you did it in like a Pima cotton, I think that would really be, number one, comfy to wear, but would also be really close to what Rue wears. Another viral outfit is from Lexi Howard. It's the Miu Miu dress that she wears, the plaid fit and flare dress with the white collar. I've loved this dress. I think everyone has loved this dress if you've seen it on the show or on the internet. And when I found the pattern that you can make this dress with, I shrieked because I was so excited. It's from Vicky Sews. It's the Sharon dress. It's a bit different than the sleeves that Lexi wears. So hers have a little band, which you can easily do with bias tape, or you can just do the sleeves that come with the pattern. I think those look really great as well. If you did it in a plaid, it could be ultra similar to the Miu Miu version without spending $1,000, because I think that's what I saw online for. Or you could do it in like a little micro floral. There's a whole bunch of different ways. You can do it in a solid as well. I think this dress is so cute, and it is on my list because I have some plaid that needs to be used and is calling my name. And lastly is the girl whose style has taken the internet over by storm. It is Maddy Perez. Maddy's style is that like baddie, that internet baddie, like 90s, like 90s Y2K, kind of like Aaliyah inspired. Oh, I love her style. It's so cool. And I really wanted to find a few pieces that worked well with Maddy's style. I really wanted to find some like sexy patterns with knit fabrics that you could use to recreate Maddy's style. This first one is so cool. I will say that I've read some of the reviews and it is not like that size inclusive. I'm gonna look to see if I can find a few others and include them in the description. But I did want to include this one just because I think the shape itself is really similar to the black dress that Maddy wears with the gloves. And you know, I think that if you have a bodycon dress pattern, you could, you know, mimic this look pretty well. But I really liked this because of the high neck and the big cutout slit. If you wanted to go for it, you could also add the slit on the other side and make it extra like Maddy's dress. I think there's a few ways to play with it here, but that dress is like so iconically Maddy. Plus, if you were to get a little bit extra fabric and trace out your hands to make gloves, that would complete the whole thing. Put your hair up, get the eyeliner in there, boom, boom. So good. And then I think my favorite pattern that I found is this next architectural top. It's so good. It's not really my style, but it's something that I want to make. And while it doesn't necessarily match up with a specific look that Maddy had, I think that the sort of sentiment of the top is so Maddy. It's got all the cutouts, it's got that sort of crisscross along the neck, which Maddy shows a lot of throughout the show. It's long sleeve, but still super sexy in that you've got the shoulder cutouts, you've got the chest cutouts. It's so cool. And I think there's also ways you could add like more cutouts if you wanted to, but even if you left it as this, you would have a really cool top, and you could play around with the different fabrics. You could probably do it in like a mesh and get like a Jules vibe, or you could do it in like a rib knit, or you know, whatever. I have to look at what the pattern actually recommends, but I think this top is so pretty and it is so unique, and I was really excited to share this one with you guys, so I hope you like it. If you made it this far, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you are not yet subscribed, again, please do that so you can stay tuned. And if you like this video, a thumbs up helps me a very long way. You can hang out with me on Instagram and on TikTok at Making Cassie. And if you have any feedback, any comments, do you like this style of video? I really like this kind of like pop culture style video. I would love to do more. So if there's any other shows or any other Euphoria characters that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. Especially if you want me to do other shows or movies, because I have a few ideas and I would love to continue to do this series if you like it. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye!